The film opens in media res. Carol and Alex are mid-heist in a remote location in Switzerland. Carol just stole diamonds, but as she makes her exit, she's disoriented in the forest. Alex, trying to guide her, gets a phone call in the middle of escape. Her lover breaks up with her, which distracts her just enough. The argument hangs in Alex's mind as she continues to guide Carol by voice and map, but the moment shatters some of the grip she has on the mission. Soon, they are chased by armed drones, forcing more risky movement. Carol ends up having to depend on Alex's sniping cover to take them out, and Alex has to snap out of her personal upset to give Carol directions. Later, they make it back to Paris and Carol hands over the stolen diamonds to their handler. She's breathing hard, clearly done with this life. Fatigue, danger, and realization weigh on her. Back home with Alex, Carol reveals something big: she's pregnant but hasn't told Alex yet. The pregnancy is from a casual hookup. This shakes Carol. She has to think about what kind of life she wants, what stability might mean, and whether this crime life is sustainable anymore. That evening, Alex and Carol go to meet with their boss, Godmother. When Alex and Carol sit behind her at the cinemas, Carol decides to finally speak up. She tells the Godmother that they're done with this life, that they've risked everything for her long enough and want to retire for good. The Godmother doesn't take it well. She reminds Carol that she's her best agent, the only one capable of pulling off the kind of jobs she gives her. When Carol repeats that she's out, the Godmother leans forward and warns that if Carol refuses to work for her again, she'll kill both her and Alex without hesitation. The next morning, Alex and Carol are deep in a forest, moving through dense trees and hills where there's no internet, no signal, and nothing that could let anyone trace them. They're tired and on edge, but it's the only way to stay hidden. Eventually, they walk in Carol's secret base, that she built years earlier as a safe house. They unlock the door and step inside. For the first time in a long while, they can breathe now. That night, they unwind. They open a bottle, play music through a tiny speaker, and sing together like they used to, laughing between verses. For a while, it feels like the world outside doesn't exist, just the two of them, free and at peace. When the night settles, they drift to sleep. But the peace doesn't last. A few hours later, the sound of gunshots jolts them awake. They rush to the window, scanning the trees outside. More shots follow, but not aimed directly at them. They realize it's warning shots and they're from Godmother. As they look down on the floor, Alex spots her pet rabbit, dead. She breaks down, realizing exactly what this means. The Godmother has tracked them down and is reminding them she can reach them anywhere. The next day, Carol storms into the Godmother's restaurant, furious and demanding answers. The Godmother doesn't even deny that she sent the men, she was just proving a point. Carol steps in, trying to reason with her one last time, saying she still wants out. The Godmother, unamused, grabs her chef and presses a gun to his head. She tells Carol to give her the amount that she wants for her next mission, or else she'll kill the chef. Desperate to save the chef, Carol tells her that she'll take 2 million euros. The Godmother lowers her gun and smiles, as they have a deal. Carol is handed a new assignment. She doesn't want it, but refusing isn't an option anymore. The next day, Alex and Carol meet Abner, their partner for the upcoming heist. He explains the job: they're going to steal a valuable artifact from an exhibition before it's sent back to its museum. It's a high security job, but he's already lined up a driver for them, a woman named Sam. Abner also tells them they'll need to see a contact named Clarence at St. Florence to get weapons, and he's even arranged a villa for them to stay in until the job is done. Later that day, the women head to a racetrack where Sam is in the middle of a race. They watch her handle the car like she was born behind the wheel: sharp turns, clean acceleration, and total control. Impressed, they approach her after the race and invite her to a cafe, where they explain the job, the cut, and the risks. Sam listens, half nervous but intrigued, and agrees to join them. Soon after, the three of them travel by ship to the villa Abner mentioned. When they arrive, the place takes their breath away: a sprawling house overlooking the coast, calm and private. For a moment, it almost feels like a vacation. But the mission waits. They soon get to the nearest town to meet Clarence. Inside his small shop, they introduce themselves and explain what they need. Clarence opens a secret panel and shows them an arsenal. Alex is practically glowing, as she's in love with the hardware. Back at the villa, they start training Sam. Carol takes her to a shooting range and patiently walks her through how to aim and fire. Sam struggles at first, but eventually she lands a perfect shot on the target. The next morning, Alex takes her out for a run to test her endurance, but Sam can barely keep up. Later that evening, Alex teaches her to load a gun, and she fumbles again. Still, day by day, Sam improves. When the time comes, they finally start the first step of their mission. Sam drives into town and infiltrates an office building. Her job is to retrieve the blueprints of a large mansion that houses the artifact they'll steal. She copies the floor plans, slips out quietly, and waits on her bike for Alex to get on. When Alex hops on, she speeds away before anyone notices. They return to the villa and hand the files to Carol. That night, to unwind, they explore the local town. Sam buys herself ice cream while Alex looks around for Clarence, who she's been drawn to since the moment they met. Later that evening, during a lively street festival, Alex spots Clarence in the crowd. They dance under string lights, music blaring, and people cheering. Eventually, they sneak away to a quieter spot for some alone time, but before anything can happen, a stranger approaches and asks to join them. Alex laughs and agrees, trying to keep things light, but the moment turns violent when the man suddenly knocks out Clarence and wraps his hands around Alex's throat. They struggle. Alex fights back, manages to get him off herself and kills him. Shaken but alive, she and Clarence dump the man's body into the sea during the early hours of the morning. Clarence admits the man was probably sent for him and apologizes for putting her in danger. Alex just looks at him for a moment, then they kiss, clearly not minding the danger. Later that evening, Alex returns to the villa. Carol greets her with a tired smile and says she missed her, but Alex doesn't waste time. She tells Carol she tracked down the men who killed her pet rabbit, Santos, and wants revenge. Carol doesn't argue. She just nods, understanding that Alex won't rest until those men are dead. The two women pack up their weapons, call Sam, and head out to a neighboring town. When they arrive, Alex takes position on a balcony overlooking the street while Carol and Sam approach the men sitting outside a small cafe. The targets are laughing, smoking, unaware of what's coming. To distract them, Carol and Sam play it casual, flirting and dancing for the men. From her perch, Alex steadies her sniper, breathes in, and begins taking them out one by one. Each shot hits clean, and the men drop before they realize what's happening. Once it's done, they walk away calmly as Alex packs up her rifle. Afterward, they meet up at the dock and board a boat to head back to Abner's farmhouse. The air is calm, and with the tension finally behind them, they open a bottle of wine. The three women sit under the sun, laughing, teasing each other, and sharing stories. They've grown close, no longer just partners, but family. Later, Carol quietly tells them she's pregnant. Alex and Sam freeze for a second, shocked, then smile wide and hug her. For the first time in a long while, there's something hopeful to look forward to. When they reach Abner's farmhouse the next morning, he's outside with the old woman he lives with. He greets them warmly and sits them down to go over the plan for the big heist one more time. He explains that patience will be key, they must wait for his signal before moving in. The entry point is through the underground tunnel that leads into the chapel, and Sam will wait in the car outside, ready to drive the getaway vehicle the second the job is done. Everyone nods, as the plan sounds solid. The next day, Sam takes her position behind the wheel parked a few meters away. Carol and Alex, dressed in their stealth gear, make their way through the dark tunnels beneath the chapel. They move quietly, flashlights cutting through the dust, and emerge into a back corridor inside the building. Meanwhile, Abner and the old woman wait in an undercover food truck outside, monitoring the operation through earpieces. As the minutes drag on, Abner and the old woman get hungry. They start cooking to pass the time, but in the middle of stirring the pot, Abner's earpiece slips out and falls straight into the food. He digs it out, but the earpiece is now busted. Inside the chapel, Carol and Alex try to contact him for updates but get nothing but static. They're on their own. A few minutes later, the convoy transporting the priceless artifact arrives. Without Abner's signal, the women decide to move forward anyway. They sneak past guards, sedate the ones in their way, and make it to the security room. Everything is running smooth, until they step through a door and find themselves in the middle of what looks like a movie set. The crew thinks they're part of the film and waves them in, telling them to take their marks. Carol and Alex play along, pretending to be extras while trying to locate their target. After slipping away from the confusion, Carol spots the artifact mounted on the chapel wall, gleaming under soft light. She disables the sensors and carefully removes it. They escape through the tunnel and head straight back to Abner, who can't stop laughing when he realizes they pulled it off despite his blunder. The next day, the four of them celebrate their success with champagne at the farmhouse, as everyone is relieved that the mission is done. A few days later, Carol travels back to Paris with the artifact. Alex, meanwhile, sets up across the street from the godmother's headquarters with her sniper rifle, ready for what comes next. Inside, Carol delivers the artifact to the godmother. The older woman smiles, pleased, but as she looks at Carol, her tone shifts. She tells Carol she wants her to become her right-hand woman, saying Alex is too reckless and too emotional for her. She claims Alex has already partnered up with Sam and plans to replace her. Across the street, Alex waits for her signal, but suddenly, the godmother's guards pull the heavy curtains closed, blocking her line of sight. Inside the room, Carol discreetly whispers coordinates into her earpiece. Outside, Alex listens and adjusts her aim, taking out one of the guards through the thin opening left between the curtains. Carol quickly feeds her another coordinate, this time, for the godmother herself. Alex takes the shot and kills her. Carol barely has a second to breathe before she hears shouting from the stairwell, guards rushing up toward her. Across the street, Alex starts panicking. She readies her sniper again, taking out 2 guards as they reach the hallway. Sam's voice suddenly cuts through the radio, warning them that the police are on their way. Realizing escape is impossible, Carol's voice grows calm. She tells Alex that she won't make it out alive and starts saying her goodbyes. Alex refuses to listen, crying as she begs her not to give up, reminding her about the baby. But Carol has made her choice. She tells Alex to leave before she's caught and to live the life she never could. Moments later, police storm the floor. Carol raises her gun, forcing their hand, and they open fire. Alex watches helplessly from the opposite building as Carol's body hits the floor. Sirens echo through the streets. Sam arrives just as the paramedics carry Carol's lifeless body out, breaking down when she sees her friend dead. 4 years later, the world is quieter. Sam rides out to Abner's farmhouse looking for him but instead finds Alex, who offers her coffee. She joins her, and they talk for a while about the old days. Sam tells her she has a new mission and could use her help. Alex shakes her head, she's done after what happened to Carol. Sam doesn't argue. She simply tells Alex to come with her to the ranch because there's something she needs to see. When they arrive, Alex freezes. In the tent, a small girl is playing, a child who looks exactly like Carol. Confused and overwhelmed, Carol steps behind her and smiles, tears filling her eyes, and embrace each other. As they hold each other, Carol whispers that she'll explain everything, but for now, she just wants them to be together again. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more notifications. Until next time. See you soon.